Good evening and welcome everybody to the call. If you guys you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up. We just want to see if you can hear me. If you can hear me, please just give me a thumbs up. If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up. Just want to know if you guys you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, brilliant. I'm getting those thumbs up. You guys you can hear me loud and clear. Welcome guys to this call. We just call it Bring Back the Glory talk show. We just wanted to connect as well as members of Vicosa to get to know each other better and also to see what people have benefited and what have they up to now in life as well, what Victoria High School has done for them. And this enables us to also to get to know what was the glory before and what is the glory now. So for the different generations, we've got different expectations or different understanding as well. So some people we need to know what was there before and what is there now, what we experienced, and so on as well. So we're going to try to invite different generations onto this talk show. If you've got somebody in your class whom you want us to invite as well onto this talk show, it's open to everybody. It's open to every generation a gap as well. So it's not restricted to any particular group. So we need to know from each and every group that has gone through Victoria High School as well. So I'm going to quickly just share a little bit of few information of what has been happening with Vicosa, what's happening as well, so that you guys, you just get to know some of the things that have been happening and that are being planned as well to just bring everybody up to date and have a good understanding as well. So bring back, so I'm just going to show some of the past presidents that at least we have had for Vicosa, some of the past chairpersons who have been part of Vicosa as well. So we've got Palmer Speedstar, that's his name, Gava. He was, at least one thing I can be proud of, he was my junior, so he always remain my junior for the rest of the life. And he's a renowned marketing guru within the banking sector industry. He was the deputy head boy during his time, very good in athletics as well. He played rugby, first team player, instrumental in the formation of Vicosa. We had also Justin Doa, who was the first chairperson of the reconstituted Vicosa. He's an entrepreneur in the industry. He was at Victoria, Fort Victoria, and then 1979, when he did his Form 1, Kennedy House member, school prefect, great swimmer, rugby player, instrumental as well in the current Vicosa that at least we do have. We have also the Zuluman, Johan. He was also the second chairperson for the Vicosa, the new Vicosa, the reconstituted one that we have as well. He did his Form 1 in 1980, Tate House. So he was one of the guys who also we instrumented quite a number of things as well. Prize giving ceremony by Vicosa as well. He's a renowned entrepreneur in the value chain industry and a great unifier as well. And Mkoma Danidzirai Frapundo Makamure. And I'm glad he's on the call as well. And so he's one of the few guys who can respond back if I say. I'll try to be disciplined when I talk about him now. He's the third person, the third chairperson. He was at Victoria High School, Form 1, 1980. He also donated this under-17 boys trophy in 1987 as an old Victorian. Beringhouse School, that was his house as well. He's a technical chemical engineer, fluid transfer consultant, entrepreneur, but I know he loves farming and he is Mr. Donut. He goes crazy about donuts as well. And Dr. Joyce Makusha Tagarisa, she's just the past chairperson for Vicosa. Pioneer 9 white A-level class in 1982, first person to pay membership subscription during the inaugural AGM. I want to encourage everybody also to pay their subscription, their membership as well for Vicosa. I mean, she's somebody who has really united Vikosa to ensure that we continue to function and to work great as a team as well. Motherly natured, who's recently she's got a very beautiful granddaughter. The opportunity to see her and also to see the grand daughter as well. Our current chairperson right now is Mr. Chris Somerai. He was at Les Sharp, Tower House as well, and he was Gibbs and first team rugby player involved in swimming and athletics. He's an agriculturalist and the project manager. He retired and now he's into farming. He's a blessed, proud father of 3 girls and 2 boys. So to just give you an idea as well of some of the committee members for Vikosa who are active right now, your current committee, management committee, with Chris Somera as the chairperson, Hardwork Tanaka Mugota as the vice chairperson, myself as the secretary, then Rangilani as the treasury, and also one guy is the vice treasurer. Then Faith Jawangwe and Rudo Mgandan Fungai Mpedza Mombe, Ronald Shumba. We've got also Isaac, who is based in Australia, and Mr. Ziso as well in the UK, who are also part of this committee as well. And also Tafadzwa Zwiti, who is also part of the committee as well. So guys, there are quite a number of projects which the committee is actually working on, and some of the projects that the school is also requesting us for assistance as well. So I'll encourage everybody to participate in the various projects that are being organized or being helped as well. So we've got the sports equipment. We've got Faith Jawangwe, who is the lead person. So if you want to contribute, donate any sports equipment as well. We've got this other project, electrical fittings. So you're going to get more details about all these other projects as well from the lead persons as well. We've got the fields rehabilitation. Our school grounds are in a certain state. And also got the girls hostel sanitary disposal facilities project. We've got lead person there, who is Fungai Mpedza Mombe. And then we've got the bathroom upgrades, and the lead person there is Tanaka Mugota. So what has happened now is the school has written requesting various sporting equipment, sports kits for various sports as well, your soccer, cricket, rugby, cricket beds, pads. In fact, they're literally requesting anything to do with the sports, any of the sports equipment as well. And I just want to quickly respond as well. We have also received some few donations from some of the people that have actually responded immediately to some of this request as well for sports equipment. What Dr. Jester Garza says, donating 3 sporting kits, Edward Tome, 3 rackets, 1 hockey stick, 6 tennis balls, and there are quite a number of things that are still being donated, and some of the details and information is still coming, and we'll encourage you guys to continue participating in that as well. Then we've got the sanitary pet disposal project, which Fungai Mpedza Mombe, she's actually leading that project as well. I think, ladies, on this call as well, you understand the importance of this more than anybody else, more than myself. And also, girls need to dispose their sanitary pads in a more hygienic way, and the current incinerators are not working. So still compiling more information and quotations, and also on the scope of work that is required to be done on this particular project. Then we've got the other project as well, which is the bathroom upgrades, which Hardwork Mgora is actually working on. So there are houses where they need to upgrade of bathrooms from bathtubs to showers. So some of the bathtubs require replacement. So the idea is to say, look, instead of putting the bathtubs, why can't we now change and reconfigure this and make them showers? So this enables space to be used more effective and also more hygienic. It's more hygienic to use showers, especially which is a common bathroom where there's so many of these kids as well sharing the bathtub, and also an effective use of water as well. So these are some of the few projects that are happening as well. So we've got the Form 4 class of 2002. They have already embarked on this project to rehabilitate C block toilets. So they took this initiative as well to rehabilitate the toilets, the C block toilets for both boys and girls. So they've already managed to purchase all the materials. This picture that you see as well is the materials that they've already purchased to work on these toilets as well. So the installation will be done over this holidays. Now the kids, they're not there, so it's easier to do all the work that is required during this school holiday. So the class group also continues to work together. It's actually an amazing group of youngsters. They really inspire me as well to say, look, these youngsters are just coming up together, doing such great things, such great work. And also their plans to meet other needs such as styling, water tanks, etc., as the class group as well. And their group has got 110 members who are actually in their group. So this is how they keep themselves together and still communicate and also help each other. One thing I really like about this group, there are so many stories that we can share about them. They've helped some of their class members who have gone through different difficulty moments as well. And so recently, they did also help one of their friends who passed on about a few weeks back, Deborah Damas, and the group managed to gather resources to assist the family. I think we can all agree that's a very tough moment when you lose your loved one, and this is things that are not planned for. That little help goes a long way in assisting and helping the family. So, right, guys, I've just thought of giving you that little background so that you truly understand what is Vikosa doing, what you are working on, and what's being done as well. And at the same time, we're going to be coming to you guys. You are the ones, we make things happen. So together we can do more and make things happen. So tonight, we've got a special guest who's going to be our when I was talking to her, to the guest, to her, she was saying, so Henry, want to make me the guinea pig to be the first one to be on this? So I said, yes, we need somebody who's going to break the ice for us. And I think you're the best person to do this as well for us as well. She was in Form 1 in 1992. When I look, she was in Form 1 when I was actually in grade 2. And she visited USA, selected national among the schools. And also she's a hockey player, discus record holder. And this is something that I picked out as well, that she's a martial arts black belt person. So guys, don't play around with her, you get chopped. Tennis player, great tennis player. She's a member of the Debate and Drama and Interact Club. And also she was the deputy head girl in 1987. And currently she's a principal consultant for 40.7 Blueprint Private Limited, which is a marketing consultants firm. And she's also an executive director for South Central Institute, a life coaching enterprise. These are things and the skills that everybody truly, truly needs. Your life coaching, no matter how many degrees, how many qualifications you have, that's something that you truly, truly need. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our special guest for tonight, Amelia Chipo Mashingaidze. My sister, I hope you're still or you're on the call. And if you're able to maybe share your camera or unmute yourself so that at least we can have you on the call. Let's see if she's here on the call. There we have it. Welcome to the call, my dear sister.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you very much.
No, brilliant. You know what? I think everybody really wants to know. I know some of us, we've seen you on TV as well, and you finished school, and some of us were still in the primary school side as well. So you went through Victoria High School, because could be even there. Yes. Please tell us, who is Chipo Mashingaidze?
You've just made me feel very old, so I'm not liking you right now. You say I went through Victoria High School when you were still in primary school. Yeah, it makes me feel a little old, but I should be grateful for life. I'm an ordinary girl. I think we grew up at a time when Victoria High School was transitioning from an all-white school to a multiracial school. I come from an educationalist background. Both my parents were teachers, and I have 5 siblings, 1 brother and 4 sisters. And when I came to Victoria High, we had recently moved. The year before, we had recently moved from Gweru to Mashingo, which is home territory. Mashingo is where we belong. So it was easy. My father had been moved to become education officer in Mashingo. So we were brought up under very strict leadership of 2 teaching parents. So being a mischievous child was not an option at all, especially with your father in the education office of Mashingo. You couldn't be known to be that child who embarrasses dad. So so that's who I am. We just simple kids really who got the opportunity to get educated in a school that was still, I think at the time, those who are of my generation will agree that at the time, Victoria High School could have qualified as a private school, although it was a government school. It was run very proficiently and very efficiently. The standards were very high, and we had people from Harare queuing up to send their children to boarding school at Victoria High School. In fact, the Muzenda children, if you remember, Deputy President Muzenda, the late,
Yes.
his children came to the school. They were our colleagues at school because it was that highly viewed. The school was a very respected school. Our rugby team was a team that was feared. For years, we were a feared team because of the training, the coaches that we had. So yeah, that's more than about me. That's more about the school because that's my interest. But if you have specific questions about me, I'm quite happy to answer them, Henry.
No, brilliant. I mean, I think you and I grew in the same environment, having parents in the teaching field and everything as well, both parents. And I truly understand your environment, how it is as well. Did this contribute a lot to you winning all these awards as well and tell us more about your life at Victoria High School as well and some of the achievements. I think there's a lot of things that you truly achieved at Victoria High School.
I want to see Victoria High School as my first coaching environment. In that the focus was not necessarily on academics. The academics were important, yes, but the important thing, the paramount thing for the school was to equip you to be a useful citizen, to be a successful human being in life. So it wasn't accolades outside of appropriateness or relevance to life. It was really accolades that were there as a foundation for character building for life. So that's how I always viewed it. So you needed to pass, yes, but this competitiveness that we see today where everybody's pitting 20 A's at O level and this and that, just to measure how good a school is, it wasn't that pushed as much as we see today. It was more, what do you do? Are you a 360-degree child? Are you academically doing your best to achieve in the classroom? Are you a member of a club that develops you mentally and socially? Are you a member of a sporting discipline that takes care of your physical being? Are you involved in something? We had scripture union. Are you an all-rounded student? That's what the school was focusing on, rather than just strictly academics. So etiquette and behavior were key things because that's what you're going to employ to interact in life later on. You were taught how to behave, how to interact with others. In every facet of your schooling, that was a key element. And I haven't been to Victoria while the children are in school in the longest time, so I don't know what is actually going on in terms of interactive teaching with the staff, between staff and pupils. and between pupils themselves, amongst the pupils themselves. But judging from the schools that I see here in Harare, where I am, I find there are a lot of things that I get amazed at that are not taught at school, that I knew by the time I left high school. So in terms of character building, I can happily and confidently and without batting an eye say Victoria High School molded me in terms of character. So any good that came out of me was probably very influenced by Victoria High School. Any bad is probably my own choice.
No, I mean, what you're saying, it really now makes sense to what people used to look at Victoria High School to say any student from Victoria High School, they would actually want to employ them because they knew there's discipline, there's behavior, they've got certain manners as well as compared to, or they respect authority as well. So,
Just to interrupt you there, Henry.
Yes.
For example, there was a time when if you went into town, especially the boarders who were given time to go into town and do a little bit of shopping here and there, if a parent reported that they saw you doing something untoward, it was dealt with. Also, there was a time where we were taught etiquette to the point of knowing that if you buy food in town, you don't walk and eat. You're not a cow that grazes. You have to find a spot, sit, eat properly like a decent person, pack your stuff away, and then walk around. But you find little things like that are ignored because people think they mean nothing. But that actually, as a consultant and a marketer, one of the things I do in corporates is teach the very things that are no longer being taught in school. Because people coming out of schools now and going into corporate have gaps in their knowledge of proper etiquette, proper personal conduct that keeps your profile at a high level.
Wow, that's really, I mean, interesting to hear that all those things as well, they're still being enforced. And that purple blazer was something to wear with pride when you put on that purple blazer. And I know when I was at Victoria Primary, I always wanted to go to be Victoria High School so at least I could wear that purple blazer. So tell us about the sports activities that you were also involved in and some of your achievements in the sporting activities.
Okay. You already mentioned some of them. I was on the first team tennis, first team hockey, first team squash, swimming team, athletics, netball. I think once upon a time, I don't even know how I did it, but once upon a time I was actually captain of the of the netball team. On the athletics field, I wasn't much of a sprinter. Um, I think I was on the relay team because you need 4 people for relay, so you sort of made it into there. I was more a field defense person, and one of my favorite disciplines was discus. And I don't know whether it's been thwarted yet, but I remember Elizabeth Makasi, who was a year behind me, and myself. We were very competitive in terms of the discus. And I think that record stayed for a very, very long time. I don't know, as I say, I don't know whether it still holds, but I'm sure by now somebody must have destroyed it. So I was very active in everything. I remember there was a time when we had basketball, and then, well, the school had basketball, and then basketball had stopped. And basketball was being brought back. And Elizabeth Makasa and I went, as I always did, I tried every sport. When it came, I would try it. If it was there, I would try it. So I went to try for the basketball team. And the headmaster came in to see what was going on in the gym. And he saw myself and Elizabeth Makasa and called us and said, "Get out of here. You're doing too many sports and your parents will not be happy if you make it to this team as well. You've got enough sporting disciplines that you're involved in." So we never got the chance to try out for the basketball team. So yeah, I was very active. I've always been an active person. Up to today, I'm involved in sport. I love physical activity. I think it's a necessity of life. and I will do it till my dying day. So it's something that I still do.
That is still tech and everything. Can I just ask more about the black belt in karate, or you can just tell us more about it as well? Is
It's yeah. Well, as you go through school, you find that there are less and less women carrying on in sport. The last time I participated in a team sport was after university. Soon after university, I played hockey till university. I was on the university team, and tennis as well. I was on the university tennis team. And after university, I carried on. I joined a hockey club, and I joined a tennis club as well. At my job, we had tennis courts and everything, and I joined the tennis team there. And then I played for Harare province for both the provincial league for hockey and for the tennis league for tennis. And um, I did very well, but you get busy. When you start working, you get busy, and your schedules do not coincide as easily as when you're at school. So I found that it could become annoying for my team members for me to keep making excuses not to be at a particular event because I've traveled with work and things like that. So I decided to find sporting disciplines that didn't require teamwork, where I could participate and disappear at will. So I carried on with tennis for a little bit because I could play singles, and I had a doubles partner who was very understanding. So when we played doubles, we had someone who could second me when I disappeared. But karate was something that I could just do for me. And what prompted me going into karate was one, I was very curious. I'm curious about any sport. I always believe I can do it until I try and fail. So I decided, I was in a job where I was working for a mining company. And one of the thing with my job being in PR and marketing was I had to travel to all the branches of the company. And the company had 7 subsidiaries. And these were all over the country. So I had to travel a lot by myself. One time, I went to one of our mines, and I was underground with the deputy mine manager. And he suddenly turned to me and he said, Chipo, do you realize you're the only woman underground right now? There are 500 men down here, and you're the only woman. And it just hit me squarely in the face that, anything could happen. You're walking in a mine shaft, someone could just decide they want to have their way with you and you have no defense. And just being on the road by myself made me feel I needed some kind of self-defense. So I came back and I had a business associate called George Taylor, and he was a national karate team participant. He was on our national team at the time. And I went to him, I said, you know what, George, I travel by myself a lot and I feel a little insecure. Do you mind teaching me some self-defense? I just want to know a little bit of self-defense so that if anything happens, I can get away and find help. And he said, I will not teach you self-defense because it's very dangerous to master one element of self-defense, defend yourself, and whoever your opponent is will think you know more and will be more aggressive, and yet you have nothing more to offer. You've got to learn everything. So that's how I started learning karate, and I've progressed with it. I'm now not just a karateka, I'm a ref in Zimbabwe, and I'm a Southern African ref for Region 5, which encompasses 8 Southern African countries. And hopefully, if I successfully go to Austria in September, we're currently fundraising for a team to go to Austria. I'll come back with a World Karate Federation reffing license, because during a tournament, they always grade the refs and give them licenses based on their performance. So you got to cheer me on and hope that I get there and I get my reffing license.
Definitely, we will definitely cheer you on that one as well. And I mean, it's 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 a demanding sport, and I couldn't go as far as you did. I didn't try, but my son at least managed to get at least a black belt. So at least I know how demanding and how physically and mentally fit you need to be in that as well. So let me go take you back now to Victoria High School. And what do you feel about Victoria High School now when you look or hear about its current state or current situation?
I take it very personally. Let me explain to you. One time, well, twice, there were two occasions where we had very bad, very damning reports in the media about Victoria High School. I think one instance was a case of some students paying a bribe to a security guard to do their kafufling in a classroom or something like that. And I took it very, very personally. Why? Because Victoria High School cannot be extricated from my life. It's on my CV permanently. I can't undo it. So whatever detriment befalls Victoria High School is directly connected to my life permanently, whether I'm involved or not. So for me, what Vicosa is doing is very important because for any of us who have passed through that school, anything bad is said and your CV is out there with Victoria High School's name, your name is dragged in the mud without you having to do a thing, and you can't do much about it. The only way to mitigate that is to make sure the school authorities that are there now toe the line and they respect the fact that there are people who have come through the school who cannot do much at the school anymore, but whose names can be muddied by any activity at the school um, and affected negatively. So for me, it's very important from that perspective, but it's also important because it nurtured me. And I want to be able to take my child and my grandchildren in the future and say, this is the school that made me who I am, and feel proud of it, not be ashamed to take them to it and make them wonder how ever I was at that school. So it's very, very important. Schools are the first port of call for grooming people, no matter what kind of school it is. And anyone who we spend more time when we're at school, we spend more time at the school than at home. It's 9 months at school and 3 months at home. So if we're going to give back to home, we've got to give back to the school 3 times as much because it spent more time with us. Um, it's not easy because once you leave the school, sometimes the school system says you've got nothing to do with us. But I'm grateful that Vicosa has a relationship with the school authorities that has allowed us to step in a way that other schools may not be. I think the only example that I know of intimately, because I have friends who are active in the Old Boys Association, is Prince Edward. They are way ahead of most schools in terms of their involvement and their invitation to make decisions on behalf of the school. In an interesting way, the headmaster seems to have an answerability to the Old Boys Association because of the degree to which they help the school. I can't remember whether it's the computer center or the music center that were completely funded by the Old Students Association of PE. And when they arrive at the school at key events, they have gate passes that are permanently stuck on their windscreens, just like their license disc, because of the importance that the school gives them. So I see the COSA growing to that. I mean, the presentation you showed us of the 2002 Form 4 class and what they're doing, they deserve the right to be involved in the school to that degree. All of the team that are sitting on your committee right now, they deserve that kind of respect because of the work they're doing for the school. And once that profile is raised, any old student will be able to walk into the school with a degree of authority and say, hey, this is what the school used to be, and this is what it meant. We need to make sure the students that are coming now understand this, that they are networked to a value chain of brains that have passed through there that are now leading in different spheres, and we need to keep that name alive.
Wow. You said, so many things that have also really touched me as well, to see even the name Victoria High School completely different. That is something that I cannot erase from my CV, and I have to defend and protect that name strongly. So when you look at what's happening now, what's your other advice as well to other Vicosa members who are on this call, and some of the members that are gonna listen to this message as well, because we are recording it and gonna share with quite a number of people who could not be on the call tonight. What is it that you have also to say to them? What we can do together as a team to make Victoria High School or bring back the glory?
I think in terms of material things, the teams that have led Vicosa over the last few years have done a fantastic job. Physically, there are a lot of things being done, the renovations taking place, the projects that you've just listed. And I think, one of the most exciting things for me was the water tanks and just making sure the school has sufficient water to run properly. There's no way you can have a school without proper water source for the children, especially with boarding facilities. The rehabilitation of the sports field. There's one thing we need to be very clear about. The classroom is a place where we learn. The sports field is a place where we become. So you find schools like St. George's, St. John's, PE, Allen, no, what is this? Churchill, being very competitive on the sports field, especially in rugby. It's because the sports field is where the camaraderie and the brotherhood and sisterhood is actually built. In the classroom, we divided, first of all, by level. You're either Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, or whatever. And then secondly, by performance. You're either Form 1A1, 1A2, whatever. So you're divided in every other sphere in school when you're looking at the academic area. On the sports field, you become one. You have a rallying point of having that Nito Donate Supero badge on your body. Nobody cares at what level you perform in the classroom. Urimwana wepo, unopiwa chinchimbo chepo, you belong. You belong. And that is where the character of the school is built. Now, if we have lost our sports field, we have lost a fundamental that made us bond as Victorians. And if we can rally around rebuilding that and rebuilding that togetherness spirit on the sports field, we'll have done a great, great thing. So I think the kit that is wanted and just the presence, if any of us are able to go and participate and see what actually goes on, we will be better able to identify the gaps that have been formed by things that have been taken away since our time there. Because there's certain things. I remember when our rugby team had a major match against a really big school. Break time was war cry practice time. We'd go to the bleachers and would sit on the bleachers and would practice that war cry as if our lives depended on it. And that sort of gave us a school spirit, a belonging spirit that I think is the cause of Vicosa existing. Because in spite of us being from different generations, a lot of us remember the Sisa Kabungawa, Winika Winika Hachacha. That was the bond. That is the bond that ties us together. I don't know whether the generation today understands that. I don't know if we all went back and we said, let's do the war cry, they would understand why it means so much to us. It's not because it's a war cry. We don't even know what those words mean, but we just know that that belongs to us and it identifies us. And that is vital for keeping the school spirit alive. because that is our unifier.
Yeah. I know I've got somebody who knows that war cry, who's always singing that war cry here. Maybe at the end, I'm going to ask them to do the war cry for us as well. And I mean, Chipo, you've highlighted a whole lot of things as well. When we look at bring back the glory, to you, what comes into mind, especially when it was people are always talking about bring back the glory to Victoria High School? What are the things that truly for you come into mind, and what must be done, or what do you think we can do as Vikosa to bring back the glory?
To me, the most vital element that identifies any entity is the people. Think of your family, Henry. Yeah, you have your father, your grandfather. Who you are is not because of the infrastructure you grew up in. It's because of the narratives that were shared to your father by your grandfather and to you by your father, and the narratives that you're sharing with your children. Yeah, the people factor is the important thing that retains the character of any entity. I think at some point that connection from one generation of Victoria High to the next generation and so on, that connection got lost somewhere. I'm not sure where. And I think the efforts that are being made by Ficosa are to regain that. So the physicals that we're doing are perfect, because we can't have infrastructure that is falling apart and have Vanina Vedu, Nevana Vedu, the generations that have come after us, learning in an environment that is just not conducive. But on top of that, the people that carry the culture need to go back, because everything, since my generation, I think literally everything has changed in terms of people. None of the teachers that were part of my life at Victoria High School are still there. If they are, they must be really, really old. The only one that I remember who was a teacher then is now at Kyle College, Miss Valentine. She was a maths teacher. She's switched. She's now at Kyle College. She's feeding the culture there. But culture is passed from person to person, and an appreciation of its importance is passed from person to person. What I would so love to see happen is maybe a Vicosa, a Vicosa interhouse.
Wow.
Where we are having an interhouse of old students with the new students in the bleachers cheering their old students' house on. So if you were Tate, you go in there with your Tate color and you are competing with other old students from Bering, from Gibbs, from what's the other one? The red one, what was it? I can't remember
Kennedy.
the fourth one. Kennedy, yes, there we go. Yeah, from Kennedy. If we can do something like that and they see us, it will be better for them to listen to us. They will be better able to listen to us because we identify. Oh, someone is saying go Tate. What are you talking about? Go Bering. What you mean go Tate? Go Bering.
Now we're gonna see, already this is the exciting part of it as well. Already there's competition there. Right.
It's good competition. There's competition
Yes.
that builds and there's competition that destroys. This is the kind of competition that builds, because at the end of the day, we say this is a Vicosa thing. Just like I mentioned about this is Victoria High School on the sports field. So it will be a Vicosa thing, but we're remembering, we're reminiscing, and that will really bring us to life.
Yeah. I know time just really flies, when you're talking. I think we need more time and more time. I wish we could chat. I think this is why we must get together and really sit down in where there's no time limit, where people can talk even until the next morning. And I know that those lighter moments. I'm gonna ask also if some people have got some, maybe anybody has got a question that they might have for you, we can post it onto the chat there, and I'll be able to ask the question for you. I know some people might have certain things that they might have for you as well. But there are those lighter moments maybe at school We hear a lot of stories about Jardin benches, all these different stories as well. I don't know, do you have any of your stories, those light up moments for you when you're growing up as well, being part of being a student, do you have any interesting stories that you want to share us with us in that particular area?
Yes, the 30-centimeter rule. I don't know whether it still applies at Victoria High. Did you have it during your time, Henry?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I want to hear more
The
about it.
Well, I think one thing that was not encouraged, but that was accepted would happen because it was a high school and there were boys and girls, was that people would date. But the
Yeah.
school had a rule. If you were dating and you were at break time and sitting together, you had to sit 30 centimeters apart. The enforcement was a little hazy there, but I think we were better kids than the kids today who have been exposed to too much via TV and social media. We were scared of adults, so we tried as much as possible to adhere. It was more difficult to enforce during socials, of course. Um, I had a very strict parenting, so I think in all my life at Victoria High School, I attended maybe 2, if lucky 3 socials, if even that, because my father was very, very strict about us going out. When he allowed us to go out, if we said the social ends at 9, he would be outside the hall at 5 to 9, and the party was just beginning to hot up. So we never quite got to have the fun. But on a lighter note, maybe the girls will shoot me for this, the girls from my generation. On a lighter note, because we had a purple uniform, we had purple school pants. You know how our classrooms go up and downstairs, yeah?
Yes.
And we had someone saying we had to wear the purple school pants to my balloon, like, I mean, they were like full panties, not like the sexy things you get in the lingerie kind of thing. No, these were full
Yeah.
thick panties. And it was part of the uniform. When you bought your uniform, you were expected to wear those panties. Because Mrs. Scott used to say, when you go up and down the stairs, the guys must not see any funny colors. They must just see one color. But they couldn't see much because we were made to kneel on the floor. If your uniform did not touch the floor while you were kneeling, it was too short. It had to
Wow.
be below the knees.
Below the
And
knees.
those are lighter things that have been lost, but they seem light, but they preserved a certain decorum and a certain respectability
Yes.
amongst the girls. We had a certain respectability because even in the streets of Mashingo, people knew that you'd never see a Victoria High School girl with her legs overexposed. We were decently dressed all the time because of those rules. But I think those are some of the lighter rules that have not been taken through because the understanding of why they were there has been lost in translation. Yeah, in evolving the school, but it's not so easy if there isn't a rule to guide it.
Wow. Now that's interesting. I didn't know about the 30-centimeter rule as well. I see some of the guys are saying, yeah, yes, it was no longer there. Even by the 2000 as well, the rule was no longer applicable at that time as well. Right. Right. I just want to know maybe also, I see some people were raising up their hands. I don't know whether they want to ask you direct or they want to do that as well. But what are your final maybe comments or you might want to say to everybody on the call and also to some of the people, even especially at Victoria High School, current students as well? What's your final comments or advice that you want to pass on to everybody?
Let me start with a little bit of an anecdote, maybe a very short anecdote. Last weekend, I had the opportunity to travel to Gutu to a very remote part of Guti called Kwamakudo with the Divine Dugula. Divine Dugula is a longtime friend. She's the owner of, or the founder of Securico Security Holdings, the company that you see that is now national and has been going for 25 years. I was one of her consultants, marketing consultants. I was a youngie, but she trusted me with her brand when she first started. I did a lot of events for her and, you know, branding advice for her. And this past weekend, this past Saturday, I drove Kwamakudo to the school that she attended and to her home, her parents' former business shop that they used to have, which she has converted into a library. In 2021, she launched a library for the children there who have very little to go on. And they were very excited about the library. It services 7 schools in that area. And Mozvakuma Reserva, by in that area, it's quite a distance away. But it's one decent library that they have with the basic texts that they need and some additional material. This Saturday, we were launching the digitalization of that library. She sponsored and got her friends to sponsor computerization and connectivity and all that, so that the kids in that rural setup can actually research at the same level as children in the urban centers. And as we were driving back with the ladies that I went with, it was a bunch of us ladies that went to support our lady friend. I just said to the ladies, you know what, all of us have to go back. You cannot bring back glory when you don't know what is lacking. You actually have to go back and feel the gap, not see it, feel it, sense the vibe, and recognize that this vibe is different. And try and see what elements are missing from the vibe that you enjoyed during your day and how those in authority helped you enjoy that vibe by maintaining certain things that keep it alive. It's like the Olympics flame. It never goes out, even if there are no Olympics. 4 years apart, they keep it burning. And you can only keep it burning if you go back. Go back and feel it. Even if it's for an hour, just go back and feel it.
Wow, that's so powerful. I think everybody can hear that we need to go back and feel Victoria High School. That's what we need to do, to go back and feel Victoria High School. Then at least we'll be able to take it to the next level. There's somebody who has asked a few questions here. They said, please tell us about your essay. Tell the group about the essay, the USA. Or is it about your trip to the USA? I know you went to the USA. I don't know much of the details here. Please, what can you highlight us about your trip to the USA?
Okay, at the time that I was in lower sixth, the United States Embassy, through one of its arms, the United States Information Service, ran an essay competition. It was an inaugural essay competition to build cultural bridges between Zimbabwe and the United States. I mean, sanctions were not there at that time. So they ran a national essay competition where kids from different provinces wrote essays. They were judged at provincial level amongst the schools, and then whichever one won at the provincial level was taken to the national level. And for the Mashingo province, I got the honor of representing Mashingo province. So I traveled. At that time, we had 12 provinces. We didn't have 10. We had 12 provinces. So 12 children, one from each of the provinces was selected. And we went on an exchange program to the United States and toured, if I remember correctly, I think it was 5 or 6 states in the United States, staying with different families, experiencing the culture, going to their schools, going into the same grade as people my age in their schools, just understanding the school system, and also being interviewed on radio and TV out there, just to understand Zimbabwean culture from Zimbabwean teenagers' perspectives. So that was the exchange program. I don't know how long it ran after us, but it stopped at some point. I'm not sure why. I think the politics of the nation were changing.
Okay, no, brilliant. I hope at least you've answered as well some of these questions people heard about it as well. And Chipo, I truly want to thank you so much and for allowing yourself to be, you said, Henry, I'm going to be the guinea pig.
Yes, I am the guinea pig. I know I'm the
And
guinea pig.
yes, and I think you've created and opened up an opportunity. The people are gonna warm up to this event, and I think it's gonna grow up, and we're gonna start discovering more. And I think the more we go again as well, we're gonna improve on how we're doing this program and how we're doing it as well. We want also feedback and suggestions as well on how best we can do it. We are also just learning. We just said, guys, let's do something to connect and with our members as well. Let's do something. Let's be more interactive as well, because we want to create more social platforms where we can share more info as well with people. But we truly want to go back to Victoria and feel feel it. We want to go back to Victoria High School and feel it. And I would want to make it a point that one day we'll bring you back again as well when you're no longer the guinea pig to this
There are
particular show
lots,
now. Yeah.
there are lots of people out there. There are lots of people, Victorians, who are very quiet in the bleachers, but they're doing great things in the world. And I would so love to see more current students come onto the platform at your invitation, of course, because if
Yes.
we're going to transfer culture onto the generation that has lost the bridge, they have to hear us so that they can see ukuthi, ndo vakaenda mberi kwedu, this is what it was and this is what they've become. And maybe in some small way we can inspire them. We're not great people, but I think we are fair representatives of what Victoria was dreaming of out of their students.
Yeah. No, definitely we'll make a plan for that as well, to get current students in as well. We wanted them to join also this call, but some of them, I think they've closed school today. And so there's so many things happening tonight. A lot of people are traveling and everybody on the road. And so this really also affected many people being able to join us onto the call. But definitely we're going to be changing, maybe coming up with a panel or whatever is going to make it happen and make it happen as well. So, Chipo, I truly, truly, truly want to thank you so much for allowing and for taking your time to be. I know how busy you are, and for giving us this opportunity to be on this call. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
No, thank you for having me, Henry.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for all being onto the call. I hope you truly enjoyed this call and this moment. And I want to thank you guys for taking your time to be on the call, and you made it possible for us to be able to host you. And we will share this recording, and you're going to get a link as well. Then you can listen and share it with other people as well. And please encourage as many people to be part of the Vicosa WhatsApp group. We are working on where we want to have our website up and running so that we can share some of the news stories as well on that as well, so that people can have a bit more interactive platform instead of us just having our WhatsApp groups as well. So guys, I can't wait to see you at the next meeting as well. We're going to have a special guest. This time we're shifting, we want to alternate lady and gentlemen as well, and also one day have a group discussion onto this platform. So thank you so much, guys, for being on the call. Good morning, good evening, depending on which part of the world you are connecting from, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.